Midge, come in.
Terry?
Want some coffee?
No, darling, just some answers.
What?
You just sit yourself down over there and make yourself real comfortable. Because I got a whole morning full of questions.
Well, just let me at least have my coffee.
Oh, what I've got for you is going to wake you up better than that. Now then, young lady, tell me, is your sister Nancy Lawson your blood sister or your adopted sister?
You're right. I'm awake now.
Well, I'm hopping mad, so you give me an answer.
Mother adopted Nancy.
Incredible.
Mitch, it's not what you think.
What I think? I don't know what to think.
I mean, Nancy isn't some stranger my mother took in. She is related to me, but not to Mother.
Alf.
Yes, my father. Mitch, I'm sorry.
Terry, darling, how can I fight your case in court when I don't have facts like this? Tossed and turned all night, fearing for your sanity.
There are good reasons why I didn't tell you.
There is no good reason. Terry, you deceived me. Now, that is the antithesis of the Terry Davidson I have grown to know.
Did you talk with Nancy?
Yesterday. Even violated Judge Slaymaker's restraining order in the process.
Did Nancy tell you everything?
Not at all. No, that is one privilege I'm going to give you right now. So from the top, Terry, who is Nancy Lawson? And why have you kept this secret from me?
Come in. Hey, listen to this.
What are you doing?
I'm reading the funny papers.
Well, forget about that and start worrying about little orphan Nancy.
Don't rip it.
First it was Terry who comes in marching and beating the peace drum, and then Mitch Dunbar comes traipsing into my living room. What is it the judge issued? A restraining order or a permit for a parade?
Wait a minute, Mitch Dunbar visited you?
In my house. Is he supposed to do that?
No, he's not. Now, what did he want?
Well, I don't know, some scare tactic, legal mumbo-jumbo. I didn't pay any attention. But I'm getting tired of these papier-mâché laws that don't seem to mean anything.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'll talk to Beth, and she'll handle everything.
Beth?
Yeah, just Judge Slaymaker.
Oh, so we're on a first-name basis with her, are we?
It isn't what you're thinking.
Great. So you're in with some moron judge who can't even keep a widow and a doddering old lawyer out of my living room.
Now, Beth is anything but a moron. There'll be reprisals, I promise you.
Oh, sure. We'll send him to bed without his grits. What does it take to get anything done around here?
Nancy, you're getting all excited over nothing. Now, he tried to intimidate you, and you saw through that. Any way you look at it, we'd come out on top.
Yeah, I saw through it all right. I mean, we got the will. That's the most important, not this adoption business.
That's exactly right. Now, any judge in... What about adoption?
Oh, he tried to confront me with the fact that I wasn't Nora's daughter. I mean, as if he didn't really know that already anyway. I didn't say anything, of course, but we got the will, and that's all that matters. Webster.
Well said. Look, Nancy, why don't we go get some breakfast? There's a real nice place downstairs that serves waffles and ice cream.
The only thing I can think of more nauseating than that would be the company. Now, don't talk to me, don't call me, don't speak to me until you get your friend Beth on Dunbar's tail. Do you understand? And stop asking me out!
I take that to mean no.
Right from the top. And don't leave anything out.
Mitch, this was Mother's most closely kept secret, and she made me promise never to tell anyone. I've already broken that. I told Liz.
But, Terry, don't you think in the face of what Nancy's trying to do, that Nora wouldn't want you to keep this secret?
They've got the will.
A false will.
But what has Nancy's adoption got to do with that?
But simply this. Without the adoption record, she has no claim on the estate.
None?
No, the whole case becomes one expensive, tedious, emotionally draining moot point. It's all disclaimed. I just wish you had told me the truth.
Did you check to see if there was an adoption record?
Yes, I did. There was none. Oh, no doubt Nora was trying to keep this whole thing just hushed up. Oh, she did an excellent job at that, I can assure you. Now, this would have been about the time you moved out of Charleston, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was too young then. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I had a baby sister.
Alf. Who was Nancy's real mother?
I don't know. Mother took Nancy in to keep my father on the condition that we'd move and he would never see the other woman again.
I see. And you realize that all this is going to come out in the trial. That's why you were keeping it all secret.
Mitch, this family has been through enough.
Oh, more than enough. But don't you realize, Terry, that if you lie to somebody, you keep from telling them the truth, in the end, it's going to hurt them twice as much as being completely honest.
I'm just saying that it's only a matter of time
Yeah,
before
but if Peter and Lori are worrying about the trial, don't you think this is the time that you should be doing something about...
Hi, Mom. Hey, Mitch, what you doing here?
Well, I was just telling your mother
He was just filling me in on some legal briefings, Lori. Sometimes I think that he just likes to hear himself sound wise.
And most of the time I am amazed at how little people listen.
What have you got there?
Oh, Ben's socket wrenches. Peter asked me to bring them by because he's going to work on the car a little later.
Oh, well, listen, why don't you just run them upstairs? Because Peter's still here.
He hasn't left for school yet?
No, but he's just about to.
Okay. Peter.
Sooner or later, Terry, it's gonna come out.
Thank you.
I was talking to that lawyer of yours, Webster, what's his name?
Harold Webster, he's a fine lawyer.
Because he does what you tell him?
Mm-hmm. He does it very well, too. There's no need at all for you to meet with him.
Well, being as I now represent the majority of your financial
Now,
support...
wait a minute. That doesn't make you his client. You know, I don't like the way you're horning in on this.
I know. Anyway, I asked to look at the architectural blueprints to Hollister Square.
Impressive, aren't they?
You're like Quonset huts.
It's modern architecture.
I don't like it. My niece could scribble a better plan than that. And if the architectural plans weren't bad enough, I want to talk to your construction company.
You know, knowing you the way I do, I'd better ask who you didn't talk to.
Your dentist. Your builder did tell me something interesting, though. You've only approached him with the idea. You haven't signed anything yet.
Well, but all the capital is secured.
I'm not buying it. I think the whole thing is a scam.
What?
Hollister Square, the mall that was never meant to be. Your corporation bellies up before the ground is even broken. You pay off 20 cents to the dollar to your investors, and you skim the rest of the capital yourself. It's called Chapter 13, Charles, bankruptcy.
You know, I must remember not to buy you more than one drink before lunch.
Now, I'm perfectly sober, and I'm absolutely correct.
Yes, but you don't know anything about the shopping mall business.
But I do know an awful lot about con games, and here's the sting. The land you've got is choice property. The merchants who are interested are fine businessmen, and the commercial needs of the area are promising. Life has played a cruel trick on you, Charles. You are being cursed with success.
Oh, I'm very sure your involvement will remedy that.
Here's how your strategy is going to be changed. Hollister Square is going to become a thriving business venture.
Vince, this is my project to direct.
And you're going to direct it in a goldfish bowl. For once, you are going to be less than satisfied with short-term, small-time deals. You are going to patiently nurture a thriving business.
You seem to forget that I ran a shipping business for 20 years.
And you never struck it rich, but you will. As of this moment, Hollister Square is completely legitimate. No more skimming, no more arson, no more shabby blueprints or dangling contracts. Get your act together, Charles. From now on, Hollister Square is no longer an illusion. It's a fact.
What is the matter with you, Mitch?
Me? Did I do something?
Don't give me that gullible country boy act. You're as bad as your own client.
Well, now, I can explain.
Not you're violating my restraining order, you can't.
Well, now, hear me out, Beth.
I ought to run you out. Right off the bar. Talk.
I have uncovered some pertinent information concerning the case of Mrs. Lindsay's estate.
About your client or Webster's?
Webster's. It pertains to Nancy Lawson's personal history. Look, I could argue the whole case for you right now, but I don't think that'd be quite fair.
Oh, Mitch, don't make me laugh. You've shown a total disrespect for all accepted legal courtesies, not to mention my orders. Don't talk to me about what's fair.
Well, now, I'm only trying to expedite the case, lessen your burdensome load.
You let me worry about the overflowing courts. One, you should never have interrogated another lawyer's client. And two, Nora Lindsay's house is off limits.
I agree, Your Honor, and I didn't interrogate anyone, really. Just sort of confronted.
Are you going to settle out of court now?
Well, we haven't made that much progress, but things are looking up for our side.
Mitch, you realize what recourses I could take. Or what's worse is I could just let my frustration build and then properly vent it when I make my decision.
Oh, but you're much too fair and professional for that sort of thing.
I'm fair to those who treat me equitably and professional to those who adhere to this profession's ethics and standards. Don't try to rewrite the law, Mitch. You're standing on the wrong side of the bench for that. Look, Mitch, I'm not trying to threaten you or intimidate you. I'm just dropping a hint as a friend. I am out of leniency and patience. And for your sake, I hope I don't see you again before the trial.
I'm sorry that I can't gather information any more thoroughly or quickly than you can, but there's still a few questions I have about you.
Oh?
Yes. Why did you move?
Oh, Chicago gets to be tiresome. I haven't had a championship anything in a long time now.
You didn't leave behind any enemies?
Well, every successful man has stepped on a few toes, Charles.
Anyone I know?
Fortunately for you, no.
Well, since you don't want to be specific about why you left, why are you here?
Family.
I thought you were running away from family, and I don't mean relatives. But, of course, you have family everywhere, don't you?
You're incredibly funny today, Charles.
You can dish it out, Vince, but you certainly can't take it.
Oh, I can take it. I'm just particular who I take it from. And you writing me about family is a little more than I can take.
Oh, and what's that mean?
How is Helen? Or more particularly, where is Helen? Having some family problems there, Charles?
That will remain my personal business.
Business, yes, I can believe that. After all, she was your principal investor in Hollister Square before me. But personal? Oh, come. I don't think there was ever anything personal about your marriage.
You know, a man grows out of small commitments into larger commitments, such as, for example, Hollister Square.
You don't have to defend yourself to me. I'm not a priest.
Then let me get out of your confessional.
So tell me, who is it that's number one on your list now?
Why don't you write to your sources or make your telephone calls or whatever it is you do, and then tell me when you find out?
I don't get testy, Charles. If you'd confide in me, I wouldn't have to bully this kind of information out of you.
Confide? Shall we prick our fingers and become blood brothers?
Charles.
You want to build a tree house together in a back lot on Hollister Square?
It's casual business chatter, that's all, Charles.
Well, why don't you go chatter with your Chicago friends? Or better still, give me their numbers and I'll call them and I'll tell them you're here.
Sit back down in your chair.
Hi, Charles. Who is this?
Nancy, what are you doing here?
Well, I went by the office and you weren't there, so I thought you'd probably be here. Hi, I'm Nancy Lawson.
How do you do? Mr. Carpenter, I have to get back to the office. Why don't you take my seat?
Yes, this is one of my accountants.
Oh,
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Lawson. I guess you had to be out of your hotel before noon, didn't you?
what hotel?
I'll get back to my figures, Mr. Carpenter, and I'll leave you to yours.
Yes, why don't you do that? I'm very sure we're going to be talking quite soon.
Nice to have met you, Miss Lawson.
He was nice in a distinguished sort of way. He's only a bookkeeper?
Yes, and I'm thinking of demoting him. Here, let me have a coat. Go.
Ah, great.
How far did you run?
Obviously not far enough.
You called your mother yet?
Have you?
No, I told you it was your responsibility to let her know.
Yeah, I called her.
Good boy.
No good boy, me. She blew up, laid into banking me like you wouldn't believe.
That's predictable. Still, you did the right thing.
Look, I hate to pry or anything, but why are you still hanging around Kingsley? Hasn't the novelty worn off yet?
I could be here to stay, Russ. Have you applied to any medical schools yet?
5 or 6.
Any response?
No, not yet.
I could make some phone calls.
Yeah, right. You got inroads to universities like you do the streets of Chicago, huh?
Old friends. Having you as a student in their school would speak well of me.
I busted my tail getting good grades in pre-med. I can make it myself.
Becky recuperating all right?
She's doing all right.
You still love her?
Yes?
That means a lot. Listen, I'll stop being so generous. Satisfied?
Yeah, well, my respect isn't for sale.
No, but your medical career is. Russ, I need your cooperation. I'm serious. And that means more than just signing the back of my checks. Look, I've made some mistakes as a father, but you're not a model son. Maybe it's time we stop killing each other with this standard of perfection.
Well, I've never settled for anything but the best.
You got that for me, but what you don't have, and only time can give you, is the realization that the best means doing what you can with what you've got to work with. I can't stand ungracious people. They demand the impossible, and when you can't deliver, they take no account of the effort you put forth. You want me to be the ideal father. I can't be. But you don't notice how hard I've been trying.
Look, what do you want from me? I'm talking to you. Take your gifts. Hey, I even let you see Becky in the hospital.
Russ, your generosity knows no limits.
My point is, I'm trying to. If this relationship's going to get any better, then it's got to be at my pace and the degree that I decide on.
You are the most insolent, presumptuous, ungrateful young man I've ever known.
So? I'm all you've got to work with.
Well, sure is a really nice kitchen.
Thanks. I'll tell my mom you like it.
Oh, I don't have to meet her, do I?
Well, why not? She's a nice lady.
Well, I don't know. The things you must have told her about me.
Actually, the only thing I ever said about you in this house was to my father.
Peter, I'm really sorry about your dad. And, if there's anything I can do, just tell me.
Well, yeah. Don't attack me in the car tonight, okay?
Okay, well, it'll be tough, but, okay, for one night.
Mom.
Hi, Peter.
Mom, this is Julie Sawyer.
Oh, so you're Julie.
Oh, I see my reputation precedes me as usual.
We're waiting for Gordy. Gordy's got his first date in 3 years. He made me promise that we'd double with him.
Well,
He's petrified.
Sure, he can learn a lot from you two.
Oh, I guess that's him.
Yeah, none too soon. I'll see you out there.
cute, Peter.
Mm-hmm. We won't be gone long.
No, take your time. I'm going to be home all evening.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye. Come in.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
What? Who is this?
I'm sorry.